Yeah, this has been a rough year for our local raptors. Now, most will bounce back, but some may not.
This is an Illinois state endangered species, the short-eared owl. We've seen a decline in short-eared owls in Illinois at an alarming rate, and then even out west, where they're a little more common than they are in the central states, they're seeing a sharp decline, and we're not exactly sure what's going on.
Now, what makes these little guys unique may also be to their disadvantage.
It lives in grass, it hunts in grass. It's the only owl species in Illinois that actually builds a nest, and they build their nest on the ground. So one account I've read is that a pair of short ears requires roughly around 200 acres of shortgrass prairie to nest in.
Yeah, the key words, shortgrass. See, the problem is most prairie restoration projects use a real pretty tall grass.
That's habitat that short ears can't hunt through. They can't penetrate that. So you need more shorter type stuff.
This little bird has some very specific requirements to live in, and unfortunately in Illinois, the loss of that habitat is contributing to its demise.
It's kind of the problem with endangered species. And this is a species that has never bred in captivity, and you cannot introduce it to a new type of area. This is an owl that specifically lives in marshy grassland areas, short grassland areas.
So when one of these little birds are found, especially when they're injured, the possibility of losing one more member of an endangered species is very real.
It has a broken wing. It's a mid-shaft break. It's not compound.
The Decatur Raptor Center and its staff rushed to stabilize this endangered short-eared owl. They'll take some vital measurements and send him off to the University of Illinois so that the wing can be surgically repaired. He will live, but he may not ever live in the wild. And if he's not living in the wild, he can't make other little owls.
When something disappears, when something that has been here for years and years and years starts to disappear, I think it's silly for people not to think that that bird and us are connected in some way, shape, or form. And so I've said this 1,000 times. This is the canary in the coal mine. If things around you are starting to die off, and you're not concerned, you should be. You should be very concerned.
The technology needed to accurately address these concerns hasn't been available until recently.
One of the dreams of the Raptor Center is to update this drone program of ours to include things like thermal imaging on our drones. So instead of having people walking these massive areas, we could fly drones over these areas in grids using a thermal camera and actually see the heat signature from the nest of short ears.
But this technology comes at a cost, well beyond the means of the Raptor Center.
You're looking around $150,000 for the systems. The cameras are not cheap, the systems aren't cheap, and we're not talking about systems that would be more like a hobbyist would use. We're talking about industrial systems. We're talking about systems that are designed to stay up longer, stay out in inclement weather, systems that are waterproof, systems that wouldn't lose a GPS lock, so they actually carry 3 GPS transmitters on them. We're talking about basically systems that are used for inspecting wind turbines.
We may already be too late in Illinois to save the short-eared owl, or we may have just enough time to help bring this bird back from the brink of extinction.
In the state of Illinois, the short-eared owl is a state endangered species. And actually it's a species that's disappearing worldwide. From one account just out west, we know that short-eared owl populations are down by 39%, and that's significant. That is a significant drop. That is not a, oh, maybe we should start thinking about this. That is a massive red flag going up, and nobody really knows why.
The need to find out is urgent. So until people like Jacques and folks at the Raptor Center can get out and gather the necessary information, we're going to be left crossing our fingers and hoping for the best.
This is something that we have to deal with now. It's not something that we wait until they're gone and then we try to figure out what happened.
Through my lens of Decatur, this is Steve Nichols, WAND.